I didn't realize there was a magnet in my bag filled with ammo. What's up, Hawk? Heck yeah. Shooting 1/4 inches today. I'm gonna try it with my Torque X here for a little bit. And then I might move on to the Axiom. Go. First shot was a little low. What we on right now? And I'm using this one. I put a pit pouch on because it was all that I had when I made the band set. I was at work and I needed to make a band set real quick. I was on lunch doing like a simple shot video, and it works fine with the 1/4 inch. This pit pouch for 8 mil. A little low. But I have my Axiom that has the regular BB pouch on there that I like to use. Okay. What's up, Josh? I don't know how many people we're gonna get. I don't do these lives very often anymore, so I'm sure the viewer count is gonna be pretty low. All right. Oh, am I ready for aim? Yeah, I'm always ready for a tournament, as Rex would call it. There we go. Although I've been shooting 1/4 inch a lot lately, and so when I go back and forth a little bit, it takes me usually, 20 shots or so to kind of get back into the groove of shooting whatever I'm shooting. Where are you from, brother? I am from the US of A. Yo, brother, watching you from Northeast India. Heck yeah. Thunder Punch, what's up? So the 1/4 inch in the pit pouch, basically there's no ball. You're just pinching just the pouch. So I have to I can't feel the ball. I have to just do this kind of thing. Hit the cord that the spinner's hanging on. There we go. And aim right off the fork. Smo and Chet. What's up, Randy? Shot 1/4 inch when I started out. I go back and forth between the 1/4 and the 8 mil. And the 1/4, because my 8 mil bands that I use, so I use Simple Shot 0.5, and I leave them a little long, so I cut them like an extra inch long. And that draw weight gets me to about 6.5 pounds, but the 1/4 inch draw weight that I have is like 4 pounds. So there's very, very little movement when I'm holding my slingshot at full draw. It's just whatever movement is in my arm from the weight of my arm. What the hell? What's up, Chad? Fractured my pinky a bit. I was making a knife and I whacked my hand. Yikes. All right. little to the right on that one. I also brought out my Axiom. So I want to take a few shots with that as well. Kind of see which one I'm liking more. I mean, obviously the aluminum is going to hold the weight a little bit better, but... And then I'm using the BB pouch. I don't know how old these bands are either. Shot that like an inch to the right. Don't use a 4-pound mini sledge. All right, still to the right. I'm not pulling it around my face enough. Okay, that was just low. What's up, LP? There it is. Okay. Man, there's mosquitoes flying everywhere all around me. Do you know where your like button is? What's up, Al? There we go. I drilled that one. So, obviously I like the Axiom a little bit better. It's a little bit, I'm more used to it, I guess, and it's a little bit heavier than the plastic, than the Torque, but I'm thinking about getting a Torque Pro. I'm that kind of kid that is doing dumb stuff, always getting hurt. Need a bow right in my head to get a quick question. Do you ever go through a slump? It seems like I'm doing the exact same thing as normal, but I'm just off a tiny bit. I'm missing small, but different every time. Been in a slump for over a month. Yeah, you'll for sure go through a slump. A little high on that one. So what I would do if you're in a slump is just change a bunch of stuff. You know, shoot tubes, carve yourself a natural and just shoot at a can and don't think. Try to shoot opposite-handed. Like if you're normally right-hand shooter, like I hold in my left hand. I know it looks opposite on the camera, but I hold the slingshot in my left hand and I hold the ammo with my right hand. Just try switching that up for a minute and like mess around with it a little bit. Change your bands, change your pouch, do something different for a little bit and shoot like that for like a few days and then get back to what you were doing before. Okay. So I'm still off to the right. I think maybe I can cut some off the band. I didn't. Yeah, I did. I'm not going to do that though. I'm just not pulling it around my face. I haven't changed anything in a long time. Chad, give me a full roll. Simple Shot Black, 0.5. I love it. Lots of power. You've been holding out, Smo. Yeah, you're right. I've never talked about Simple Shot latex before. Still off to the right. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the torque because I was actually hitting with that. I think those bands are just too long. Yeah, I just touched the cord that it's hanging from. Those bands are also probably 6 weeks old. They've probably been on that slingshot for a couple of months. Yeah, Randy, I would just do something. I would just do something to have some fun with the slingshot. Like, I like to shoot pickle fork. Sometimes I'll shoot pickle fork for like 2 weeks at a time. Just like 100 shots a day, a few hundred shots a day. Just having fun. I'm not worried about target hitting, like precision shooting. I'm just shooting cans. I'm shooting down leaves out of the trees. I'm shooting, you know, whatever. And then I'll go back to like the precision stuff because it just takes your mind off of it. It gives you a mental break from like the perceived poor performance that you're going through, and it just puts you back in the zone of just like having fun and messing around with your slingshot. There we go. Yeah, I'm right on with these bands. These are new bands. Woo, hoo, 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 hoo. Deserves some love. Appreciate that, Thunder Punch. What is the problem? That is the problem as well. I'm not missing a can, but I can't hit a 25. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the problem. You're just too hung up on missing what is a very difficult target. Just go throw it, like, go cut a can. You know, cut a can every day and don't worry about hitting small targets. I just saw a bee. I lost it though. Me and my wife were at Starved Rock State Park. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but it's a state park in Illinois. It's a really beautiful place. And as usual, I had my slingshot with me. And it was a natural that I had just made. And I was just goofing around with it. And I had that in my one pocket. I had about 24 balls in the other pocket. And we sat down and we were just going to have like a snack. We were hiking the trails. And we saw a bee and I was like, ooh, a bee, I'm going to shoot it. And I just got out the slingshot and I was like, I literally did one of these. Like I was sitting down and I was like, and I smacked it. Took it out. When is the next tournament? The next tournament is AIM, AIM, which is in Indiana, Greencastle, Indiana, on the 17th and 18th, I believe, or 19th, something like that. Ooh, it slipped out of my hand and I still hit the target. $20 miles from me, Randy. Hook it up, man. There we go. Yeah, AIM is, we switched some stuff up from last year. Obviously, we moved it from the end of June until October, so hopefully the weather will still be pretty decent down there. in a couple of weeks. It'll be pretty chilly at night, I suspect. But, nah. But, it's at the same park that it was at last year. They're doing catering, so everybody's going to get fed 2 of the days that we're there. Obviously, you can bring your own food as well if you want. What's up, Joseph? Beautiful place with a great story, yeah. And there's like a little lake there. I think fishing is allowed there, if I remember. Sir. Yeah, we just had a really good time, and there's no way it'll be as hot this year. Yeah, Greencastle, Indiana. It's the weekend of October 17th and 18th and 19th, I believe. Oh, there's a chipmunk right there. It's in the brush, though. I can't. There's no way I'll hit it. Maybe he'll come out to play. There's no way I could hit that. The weeds are so thick right there. Where are you from? I am from Earth, my dude. Boom. Dude, I'm hitting pretty good with this. I'm gonna shoot with this for a little bit, the plastic one. And I'm considering getting me a pro version of it. So here's a funny story. I've been shooting 8mm forever. And a 1/4 inch. And typically I would just mess around with the 1/4 inch. I didn't really care that much about it. I would shoot 1/4 inch with my pickle forks a lot. And then recently I was like, I'm gonna set up a real setup for 1/4 inch and try to really shoot with it, because I've never really done that before. Like, it's always been something that I just mess around with. I don't really care about. And I could not hit properly with it. I always seem to be shooting a little bit high, which I would suspect for 1/4 inch. And I had to gap shoot with it because I shoot 95mm frames typically. And 1/4 inch is so small that if you get them going too fast, I can't see them. I can't really even see 8mm when it's moving past about 275 feet per second. So my typical speed with 8mm is about 250, 245, 250, somewhere in that range. That's what I like. But I can shoot up to about 275 pretty well. Beyond that, I can't really see the ball. 1/4 inch, like, I have a hard time seeing them at all. Anyway, long story short, I got the Axiom Pro, and Simple Shot sent me a pre-production sample of it. So it's basically a finished product, but it's a sample that they send to see if we like it, if it's good enough. So we get the 3D printed versions and all that kind of stuff, and then we get an actual production sample, and they produce one and they say, is this good? And it was good, so we just had them run with that. So I get this pre-production sample like a couple months before the Axiom Pro comes out. A little high. And I'm trying to make videos on it. I'm trying to like talk it up and promote it, but I can't shoot it. Because it's a 90mm fork width, my regular shots are going too high. And I had to, at one point, I went back to 9.5 steel to get a lower trajectory on it, but I had to put bands on it that were so heavy because I have a short draw in order to get any flatness at distance. And so I was just like frustrated with it because I really like the slingshot. I like the way it holds. I like the way it looks. I like the weight of it. I like everything about it. And just for shits and gigs, I put some 1/4 inch, I put BB bands, 1/4 inch steel, and a BB pouch on there, and I was shooting it lights out. Ever try the Apex? No, I have not. Anyway, for some reason, the 90mm fork width is hitting right on the money with my 1/4 inch steel setup. And I always said, like, I can't shoot 90s. Like, you could probably go find videos of me going, like, I can shoot 95 to 100 pretty well. And I can shoot 80 to 85 pretty well if I use long draw. And I can shoot pickle forks. It's like the only thing I can't shoot is a 90. And it turns out that for 1/4 inch steel, for some reason, it's spot on. I caught the bottom edge of that one. It's a 95, yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. I've never tried it. There we go. Smoked that sucker. Let me get my water. Anyway. Yeah, that's my whole story. You have a good rest of your day. Heck yeah, Joseph. Thanks for stopping in, man. Yeah, so basically that was my story of the 1/4 inch and the 90mm frames. And the Torque X is 90mm on the dot. There we go. And my Axiom there, which I love, for 1/4 inch, is also 90mm on the dot. But those bands got to be old bands. I'm throwing all over the place. So that's what I've been shooting for 1/4 inch is 0.4 with a 20 to 12 taper. Actually, it's 0.4 with a, it's not 20 to 12. It is 18 to 10 taper or 15 to 10 taper. One of those two. I can't remember which it is. It probably wouldn't make any difference. And as usual, I leave them long. So if I'm at full draw like that, I got a lot of extra room to play with, and I don't like the bands to be maxed. Damn good shot. Thank you. Looks like nice weather there today. Dude, it's beautiful here. It's like 75. And wispy clouds really far in the distance. Mrs. Hicks, what's going on? What's your favorite rapid tuck frame from Simple Shot? My favorite rapid tuck frame? Huh. My favorite wrap and tuck frame from Simple Shot, if you were to go to the website right now, is for sure 100% the Champ. Oh, I just missed low. Let me move you back just a little bit because I think I'm a little too far forward. Will you have to pay for the Pro? Of course. Of course I'll have to pay for the Pro. What are we talking about? From the UK, we're talking slingshots today. Whoops. So this is my slingshot. This is the Torque X from Simple Shot. I know that's backwards. I'm sorry about that. Simple Shot. The Champ comes in clear now. The Champ also comes in glow in the dark, which is by far the best one. Because during the day, it just looks white. It looks like a really like creamy white color. That sounded super weird for me to say out loud. But then in the dark, it glows in the dark, and it's awesome. It glows really, really nicely in the dark. And it's the only slingshot that Simple Shot makes. Full body glow in the dark slingshot. I love that one. That's one of my favorites. That's probably my favorite wrap and tuck slingshot that they have right now. You made me spend more money now. Boom, man, I'm hitting with this. Hitting pretty good. And then the clear, I like the clear one as well. The clear is one of my like heavy setups I use when I'm hunting, when I'm doing hunting. So I put real heavy bait. I still long draw it with the Champ. I have to shoot it long draw because it's so small, but I long draw it like this. So it's not very long at all, but I like pull like that. And that thing is set up for power. I have some points right now. I have some 0.6s on there that are I believe they're 18 to 12 taper. I can't draw them back very far at all. They're real short. But yeah, I get real flat. I shoot 9.5s with it, and I get real flat trajectories, even out to like 30 yards. Clear gasser. Oh yeah, you got the clear gasser. Axiom Champ and glow in the dark. Heck yeah, LP. But I really like the Torque as well, the OG. It's very wide, and it has very wide fork tips. So you can shoot, when it was designed, people were shooting like 30 to 20 tapers. If you can believe that. I like asymmetric frames like the Torque. I don't know why they aren't more popular. Yeah, the Torque X is becoming a favorite of mine. Ah. Ooh, I'm popping my back. Feels good though. Web Shooter, what's up, dude? There we go. I caught the edge of that one. Didn't flip, but I hit it. Go. Got that one to flip. Just got my Torque a few weeks back, and I've been loving it. Haven't slung in 15-ish years. Well, welcome back to it. Welcome to the world of modern slingshots. The Torque is one of my favorites. It's probably my favorite wrap and tuck frame from Simple Shot that isn't the Champ. But it's a big boy. It's very wide forks, and it's very wide fork tips. Go. I think for most modern shooters, they would much prefer the Torque X. The only thing is it's real chunky right here, and I'm not really sure why. They just don't need that amount of chunk to it. What are you using to tie the bandset? Other latex. So I had like a dozen different half rolls or quarter rolls of latex that I've been cutting into strips, and I cut a bunch of that up and I sent it to Hunter so he could have a bunch of extra like stuff to try, and then I gave the rest of it away, but I cut a ton of it into strips for wrap and tuck. So I always use latex. So this is, I think it's Sobong, if I remember correctly. Sobong, good band, very fast, not super stretchy, but decent stretch to it. But they broke pretty quick. Feel real similar to GZK Green, if anybody's familiar with that. They just didn't last very long. But anyway, I cut those into strips for wrap and tuck. So that's what I used, just latex strips. what is your band setup right now on that length, width, thickness? So I believe this is an 18 to 10 taper, and I've cut them at 200 millimeters long. And I also have a pit pouch on there. So I don't know what the actual length is when they're tied on. I hear it again. I hear them rustling around. And these are 0.4. So they're the thinnest ones we sell. 18 to 10 taper, I believe it's 18 to 10. And they're 200 millimeters long. Very, very stretchy. Like, there's so much extra stretch to them. Like, this is where I anchor, like right there. And I have so much extra stretch. I hear that. I think that's a squirrel somewhere. I should leave him alone. I'm at a public park, although there's nobody here. Have you shot yourself in the hand? Sure have. So not this. This is from when I was painting the other day. But right there, there's a scar. That scar right there from when I shot myself shooting frameless. I think I have only went down to 0.5. Yeah, it's a 0.4. There we go. I shoot 0.5 for 8 millimeter steel, but I'm shooting 1/4 inch today. For everything, 1/4 inch, 8 millimeter clay, just cut them different lengths. Yeah, for sure. Hocking Hills. So I could talk Hocking Hills for a minute. It was awesome. And if you didn't go, you should be ashamed of yourself. No, it was a great time. Great time. Scott and Angel, the hosts, are wonderful, wonderful people. I shot with Rex almost all weekend. What a guy! Like, Rex is just top-notch gentleman, and can talk some shit as well, but always makes you feel like he cares when he does. I also shot a lot with Coin, shot a lot with Linder, and Coin and Linder ended up placing second and first respectively. So congratulations to Linder on the win. Coin won the Woods course again, and so he's a repeat champ, which is cool, very cool. Yeah, it was great. It was a great weekend. Family friendly fun. I whooped Moan in tic-tac-toe. If he says otherwise, he's a damn liar. Hit the cord again. No one there until you shoot the squirrel. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, there's nobody here. There's a car parked way off in the distance in the parking lot I can see. But there's nobody here. Was Fowler at ECST? He was not there this year. Any tips for the hammer? Just banded up last night, but never shot a sling bow. Hopefully taking it out this weekend. If you want tips for the hammer shooting a sling bow, I can give you one very important tip, and that is make sure that your arrow is a little longer than you think it should be. Because when you draw it back, if the tip of the arrow comes out of the back of the whisker biscuit, you're gonna have a really bad moment. So make sure that arrow has a little extra length than you think you need. Don't let it slip out of the back of the whisker biscuit. go. When you're shooting, God, there's so many mosquitoes, man. When you're shooting the hammer, you'll notice that it has, the edge here has a dimple on it. And that dimple aligns with the bands, and that aligns with the arrow as well. So all those things line up. It is a true center shot. There's no archer's paradox. You don't have to worry about any of that. It's a center shot sling bow. So when you turn it sideways, that little dimple is your aiming reference. And you'll be able to use that fairly consistently. With a sling bow, if you're shooting arrows, keep the bands heavy and wear that wrist brace. Oh my God, I flicked it. Went way high. Was asking on aiming. Yeah, so aim using the dimple. So when you're holding it sideways, there's going to be a dimple on the fork tip, because it's a square fork tip, so they're as wide as they are long. And I don't have a hammer with me, but there's a dimple on there. That dimple aligns with the tubes if you're using the tubes, but it also aligns with the arrow, and it's a center shot. That dimple is your aiming reference. You'll just have to practice with it, obviously, to see where you're at in terms of where your point on distance is going to be. But leaves my hold canted in the hand. Yeah, they left it long because they wanted people with real thick wrists to be able to use it well. And if you're shooting it in the cold and you're wearing a coat or like extra, you know, sleeves or gloves or something, you'll like the extra bulk to it. But yeah, you can tighten up your own strap if you wanted to. Paul, what's up, dude? Torques would make a great tube shooter or speed shooter, right? I don't know if I'd speed shoot with the torque. Man, I'm just low. Hold on. Let me eyeball in a couple shots here. I'm hitting it just low. There it is. Okay. It would work fine. There's nothing particularly special about the torque in terms of being a tube shooter. The original torque has holes in it for looped tubes, but they do not make good single tube holes, so I wouldn't even worry about that either. Oh shit, it slipped out of my hand. See you back in your lunchtime. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you. You could fold them up instead of trimming. Yeah. Yeah. I like the torque, or I like the Champ for a tube shooter because it has OTT and TTF band grooves, and the tubes fit really nicely inside the TTF band groove, and then you wrap it around, but you're shooting OTT, and it places them in exactly the same spot every single time you put them there, so you always get exactly the same tie on. There we go. Paul's a natural pickle. Kind of want a gasser pickle now. I use Chinese tube shooter, one continuous band. I mean, two. What's up, Leon? I keep flicking my hand. That's one of the things that the plastic slingshots that I do poorly when I shoot the plastic slingshots is when I release, I do that, and the heavier slingshots stop me from doing that. There we go. You make a gasser in toxic green. I could. I would need to buy some material. So if that's something you want, let me know. We can work out a price, but have a gasser pickle. Interesting. There we go. Yo, ho, 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 ho. I like this park because if I shoot in that direction, all the way around to about there, so this whole, like, amount of space is nothing but woods. And then the park goes back this way a little bit. So from there to there, I can see cars, and there's a playground right here and another pavilion down here. And then from there all the way down to there is woods. And then there's a small space right back in here where there's a path to walk through. So, and it's quiet, man. There's hardly ever see very many people here. Ropo, what's going on, man? I sent you back an email. I hope you got it. Oh, I don't know what I did on that one. There we go. I shot real low. Only got about 10 minutes left. Ooh, caught that one. Flipped it a couple times. A park where no one comes to sounds creepy. Yeah, I'm assuming that nobody's here because it's the middle of a Thursday afternoon. Like, it's 12:30 p.m. on a Thursday, so I'm assuming that's why there's nobody here. Oh, I hear people. I thought that was a person. That was weird. Oh man, mosquito flew right in my eye. I think there's somebody walking through the path. Mosquitoes out here are relentless. Probably loads of used condoms on the floor. Nice to catch up with you all. Heck yeah, Randy. Randy, consider going to AIM. There's info on it on Facebook. Ugh. Ugh. That was bad, bad, bad. That was bad. There we go. All right, we're gonna just put you in timeout. And beg my wife. Yeah, dude, it'll be a good time. If you only live 20 miles away too, it'd probably only take you a half hour to get there. You could just show up and go home and sleep and come back the next day, you know? What's up, Carrie? God, these mosquitoes are killing me right now. Ah, that was bad. I flicked on that one again. There we go. Just caught the edge of that one, but it flipped over a couple times. Too high. 20 miles from, 20 miles from Starved Rock. Gotcha. There we go. I thought you were talking about AIM. Yeah, Starved Rock's a beautiful spot. If you live 20 miles from Starved Rock, AIM is the closest tournament by far that you'll get to. Starved Rock is like an hour and 45 minutes for me. It's straight down 80. I live like a mile off of I-80. So we just hop on 80 and drive it till we're there. Boom. Smacking it now. Remember to hit the like. Yeah, I only got a couple minutes here. I'm going to have to book it, guys. Appreciate everybody that hopped on. We're not back, by the way. I'm not going to be doing this all the time. Everything lined up today. It was a good day. Weather was great. Ugh. Come on, I gotta end on a hit. Where is AIM located? Greencastle, Indiana. There we go. All right, last one. If I end up wanting to get a gasser, heck yeah, LP, sounds good, dude. Got it. Booyah. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate everybody that watched. Appreciate everybody that hit that like button. I love y'all. I got to get back to work. I'll see you in the next one.